I would like to introduce now pollster Alex Tarascio from Cygnal. As you may have known, we have new data coming out about young American men. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I find it appropriate that as a young American man, I'm a little bit aged out of the group that we surveyed. I have a screen in front of me rather than a piece of paper, and so I am on brand there. My name is Alex. I am a pollster at Cygnal. Most of my work is political. I work on campaigns. I usually try and get candidates to win. This project was a really fascinating one because young men are a group of people that are moving. They are typically not as involved in politics, and whichever party or candidate can motivate them to get involved, they're the ones who often win, but they're really hard to get for some of the same reasons that we are talking about in this event here. So I was happy to do it. Another reason is because I like cutting up groups into different categories, and so I'm going to talk about different demographic groups. I'm going to talk about behaviors as demographics in some cases, because that's how we do political targeting, and in this, that's how I'm going to be thinking about some of these groups. I have 10 minutes, and so I am not going to answer any questions, even though you will have them. It's very unfair. But I'll be around all day and happy to answer questions throughout the day or afterwards. Now, let's see if I can figure this out. Awesome. So we conducted this survey at Cygnal with the Lafayette Group because we wanted to know how being so online is affecting young men, 16 to 28, Gen Z men. They are extremely online, more than I expected. And so on many of these answers, young men are split. It looks 50-50 or pretty close to it. But that's only really true on the surface. And under the hood, when you look at which men are split positively or negatively, you find very different habits that are driving the men whose lives are going well or who say that they have good mental health compared to those whose lives aren't going in the direction that they hoped or report negative mental health. Overarching results. The men who are online the most, to 6 hours or more per day, who never exercise, are irreligious, and who don't participate in any organized social group, they are doing the worst. They report worse mental health, fewer friends, and worse life satisfaction. We asked about a range of other potentially destructive behaviors: pornography consumption, online gaming, sports betting, and AI usage, on the theory that these may be correlated with worse mental health and life satisfaction. The impact of all of those behaviors paled in comparison to simply being highly online for more than 6 hours a day, or not participating in any social groups. Those are the absolute worst things that you could do as a young man. Men who are still doing well are still online, very highly online, many hours a day, but they exercise some restraint. They engage in other activities. They join clubs. They go to religious services at least sometimes, and they are more likely to be current or former members of a collegiate fraternity. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this slide because it has a lot of information on it, and I warned you that we like to cut up different groups in how we target people. So there are a range of negative behaviors that are correlated on nearly every single question we asked with negative results, and then positive behaviors that are oppositely correlated. And so graduating college, you are more likely to say that your life is going in the direction that you thought that it would if you graduated college. It's 2-to-1, 66% to 33%. Overall, it's 50% of men who say that their life is going the direction that they thought that it would. Fraternity-affiliated men, 61% of them say that their life is going in the direction that they thought that it would. Highly social men, 63% of them say the same. Men who have some or regular religion, you don't need to be devout, you just need to go more than never, more than rarely. And then men who have positive mental health, which is kind of measuring the same thing, and so don't overread the positive mental health figures. The red boxes, men who are not affiliated with any group. They don't join anything, not even a fraternity, they just aren't in a club. Only 27% of them say their life is going in the direction that they thought that it would. Men who never exercise, 27% of them. Low social men who are in person with friends less than or 5 hours or less a week. 42% of them say their life is going the way that they thought it would. Highly online men, only 39%. And negative mental health, 23%. The man who says that his life is not on track spends more than 6 hours a day online. He plays video games every single day, probably for more than 2 hours. He watches YouTube for more than 4 hours a day. He spends less than 5 hours a week in person or with friends, with social activities. He rarely or never exercises. He isn't a member of an organized club or social group. He is not religious. He's single, but he wants a relationship, and he has poor mental health, and he knows it. He doesn't have any male mentor or role model who's a regular influence on his life, and when he has problems in his life, he figures it out himself. And here's what he says about himself in his own words. I'm unlucky with everything that I do. I barely feel loved, and I can't seem to be successful no matter what. I envisioned more. I'm just not where I thought I'd be. It's been way more difficult than I thought. I've done almost everything I said I would never do as a child, and if my kid self saw me today, he'd be heartbroken and distraught. I have some of these verbatims in our deck, and I encourage you to, you should have QR code access that can pull up the entire release, and you can see all these yourself. So, the man who says his life is on track, he still spends a ton of time online, but he balances that with in-person activities. He's online, but for less than 6 hours a day. He also spends 11 hours or more per week socializing in person with his friends, and he's involved with organized social groups. He regularly exercises, and he was or is a member of a collegiate fraternity. He's religious, though he may not be devout, and he says his mental health is good or excellent. And crucially, he has male mentors in his life and role models that he can talk to when life gets hard, or to turn to for advice about how to be a man. And he attributes the good things in his life to the people around him and to the choices that he's made. And here's what he says in his own words. Life has gone the way that I expected it to go. I feel like the choices we make lead to the results that we have. I feel like life is going to be great for me. I'm going to make good money, my girlfriend and I are going to get married in 4 or 5 years, and we're going to have a family. I have people to push me to be great. Well, there's a lot in my way, but I have people to keep push me to go forward and calm me when I need. Or I have a wonderful partner who loves me, a great family, lovely pets, everything that I need. Oop, I skipped one. So, how do they want to spend their time? We asked, how do you typically spend your free time? The things that you actually do the most. Select the top 3. Playing video games, number 1, far and away, clear leader. 43% of men select video games as their number 1 thing they want to be doing. Number 2, watching TV, movies, or streaming content. And number 3, listening to music or podcasts. The only social one in this group, the middle box here that makes the cut, the first one is spending time with family at a distant 21%. This is kind of the heart of the problem. The online world is really, really attractive. And it's very easy to spend so much time there. This is where men want to spend their time. Even the men that are doing well are still spending a huge amount of time online, and that's because this is where they choose to spend their time. Online hours daily. Overall, 17% of men are online for 2 hours or less per day. Those are the low online in my banners. And 27% are online for more than 6 hours a day. Probably a lot more. There's just no upper limit to that. Everyone is online to a very high degree, but those who do so with no limits in that 6 hours a day category are the men who are not affiliated with any organized group at all. 33% of them are online for more than 6 hours a day. Men who don't exercise at all, 42% of them are in that more than 6 hours a day category. And those who say they have negative mental health, 36% of them are in that highly online category. And so at the extremes, we see that highly online is more associated with those negative results. This one stuns me every time I look at it. The YouTube usage in this generation is just massive. Even I'm not that much older than men in this group, but 11% of them are on YouTube alone for more than 6 hours a day. 44% are on YouTube for 3 to 6 hours a day. And probably they have multiple screens up at a time. So it's YouTube, it's a phone, it's maybe a TV at the same time. Gaming. The overwhelming majority of men in this age group are very heavy gamers, which we define as every day. Most of those are in this, I play video games for 2 hours or more every day. 36% of them are in that category. It's so ubiquitous that there's not a huge difference between groups. 58% of those with negative mental health are heavy gamers, compared to just 50% of those who have positive mental health. And so if you're doing well, you are probably still gaming a tremendous amount of time. And so this, I didn't come in expecting to prove that gaming was good or bad, but it does not seem to be highly correlated with the more negative results. Social in-person hours, 48% of men spend 5 hours or less a week in person with friends or doing something social. On the high end, that's an hour a day over a week, but for most of the men in this group, it's probably a lot less. And so most days, these men are not socializing at all. So it's 48%. It's a huge proportion. These are the low social men on our banners. Physical activity, the never, fortunately, it's not a huge proportion, it's only about 8%. But the people, if you never exercise, that is one of the worst things that you could possibly do. On the other hand, if you're exercising regularly, so in this several times a week, nearly every day or every day, if that's the only thing you're doing, more likely you're probably still not on track. If you are not socializing with other people, if you're not doing something else, if you're still online a ton, you're still pretty isolated from other people and you're probably not doing very well. Mentorship. This ended up being a much stronger positive correlation than I expected. 53% of men say that they have a male mentor or role model compared to only 40% who don't. The ones who over-index for this, fraternity-affiliated men. 71% of them have a male mentor or role model. Okay, I'm getting waved at, and so I've already gone a little bit over. I'm gonna end now, but I'm happy to answer any other questions that y'all may have throughout the rest of the event. Thank you.